it's coming full circle, and now I realize what your strategy is. Now I think back and I think, wow, that was actually your thing, was to make it more about the houses than it is about you. It's
Oh,
brilliant.
well, let's be real, Ricky. I have a face for radio. I don't have a face for TV.
Come on, bro. You're not giving
I've
yourself
never
enough
done a
credit here.
part
Did
of
you
my
come up with this? Is
yeah.
this your idea to not put your picture on the advertisements?
Yeah, for a couple
Wow.
reasons. One, if I'm at the market or if I'm at breakfast, I really don't want to talk real estate if I was with my kids at the time. But two, in most part, was the whole mindset, the whole creation of first class. I don't put my picture on cards. None of that kind of stuff was to try to present that. Then I came up with language on how to present that in a listing interview. So one of the things that I say,
Okay.
this is good. This is good stuff because this resonates and it's free. I say, Mr. Seller, like an athlete's agent or an actor's agent, the job of the agent is to promote the client. The job of an athlete's agent is to get an athlete off-field endorsements. Of course, it's negotiate the contract and all that, but a good athlete wants that Nike money and wants the Pizza Hut money and the Subway money. So a good agent is on the phone. They're promoting their client. They're on the phones trying to hustle their client's endorsement deal. Well, Mr. Seller, I'm a real estate agent. The same scenario. I'm on the phone all day promoting your house. The difference is your house is my star.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Zero to Diamond Show. Of course, I'm your host, Ricky Carruth. I hope you guys are having an incredible day today. I just got through with a 2-hour call session right here on YouTube. It was actually the best call session that I believe, if I'm voting, that was the best call session that I've ever done live. It was really, really, really good. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about our guest today. So I've got the man. Okay, this is a guy that I've really been wanting to talk to for a really long time. I'm really excited to share this conversation with you guys. This is going to be really cool. I've got Mr. Jordan Cohen. He's joining us today all the way from Westlake Village. What's up, buddy?
What's up, Ricky, man? I'm honored to be here, bro. Happy,
Yeah.
honored, thrilled, and excited.
No, absolutely, man. So you're a 6-time #1 Remax agent in the world.
Yep.
You are a real estate agent of the celebrities and professional athletes, Sylvester Stallone, Brett Michaels, Anthony Davis, et cetera, et cetera. No telling who all you got over there with agreements. And you're also a recent author. You just wrote a book called The Agent Edge. So, man, I'm excited about that. Welcome to the show.
Oh, Ricky, thank you, man. By the way, thank you everybody that's tuning in to see me. So this is like, very humbled by that. Just I'm honored that anybody wants to see and hear anything that I have to say. So thank you.
Nah, yeah, likewise, man. It's always a humbling experience. So let me just dive right in here. I want to get into like your background and story and everything because from our conversation the other day, it's just so interesting, like how all this came to be. But before I get into that, I want to really bring the audience as much value as possible right off the bat here. And one of the biggest questions I get all the time is, Ricky, how do I break into luxury? How do I break into, the that higher end price points and stuff like that? And so that's kind of where I want to start. And this may actually lead into a lot of your backstory and everything. But if I'm a brand new agent to maybe a 2-3 year agent, 5-year agent, even if I'm a 8 or 9 year agent who is been kind of hovering around that average price point of the market, 500,000, something like that, you really found a home right there. You know, I mean, before we get into celebrities and your book and all this amazing stuff, let's give the audience some real tactical stuff here. How does an agent, because this is a question I get so much, break into that luxury market? Because you started out selling $100,000, $200,000 homes, and you had to transition into the higher end luxury stuff. So, what would you tell an agent in that kind of situation in today's market?
Well, yep, that's true. I started my first 7 years. I was in entry level. My average sales price was under 200,000, and it took me a while. Then after about a year, I started doing really well, where I became the top agent in my area, and I was doing really good. Then what happened was I got referred to my first pro athlete, which was very exciting. And then I took him out, and we were looking in a whole different area called Westlake Village, and I'd never even been to Westlake Village, never even heard of Westlake Village before. So I went out there. I was looking around. I was excited because this was going to be my first $1 million listing, like winning the lottery, right? My average commission check was like 5,000, 6,000. So
And what year was this around?
25 years ago. So
Okay,
yeah,
so we're talking about 97,
early 90s. Yeah.
early 90s. So that's more like 30 years ago.
Yeah. No, about 24, 25 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd have to think out the exact number, but yeah, something like that. So,
yeah.
But what happened was I spent my whole life, the first 5 years, creating what I think was an unbeatable listing presentation. I was doing expired listings, I was farming, and I was winning because it took me a while, but then I became a winning real estate agent. And then when I went to this new town, I said to myself, I said, man, these agents must be like unbelievable, right? They must be so sharp and polished because they're selling $1 million homes and I wasn't. In truth, Ricky, I'd never even been in $1 million home before. So I go over there, and then in the back of the LA Times and the back of the Daily News, there used to be photos of the realtors that worked in the area and their production. Remember, this is before the internet. So I'd see their pictures and I'd see their numbers, right? They were selling 15, 20, $25 million in real estate a year, and I wasn't. So I go, man, they must be like unbelievable. But then when I went out there and I met them, they were all very nice and they were all great and they were all professional. But I didn't think they were better than me or more polished than I was. So once I sold that house, and I think it was like $1,850,000 or it was something, $1,550,000, and it was crazy. It was winning the lottery. I remember driving out of that presentation because in those days we would present our offers to the sellers direct. Remember, there was no emails or none of that stuff. So we present our offers directly. Right. And I got my offer done. I went into that presentation very aggressive. I mean, it was like having 5 winning lottery numbers, just waiting for that 6. So I wasn't going to let the seller not take my offer. So I went in there just aggressive, boom, boom, boom. And then we got it signed off. And I remember leaving and calling my wife from my big cell phone like that. And I remember calling her saying, honey, wow, I just sold a house for $1,550,000. Like, it was like literally mind-boggling.
Yeah. Hey, it's Ricky, and I hate to interrupt this podcast that I know you're enjoying, but really quickly, I wanted to share with you a company that my agents are using to get so many listings and build so many relationships with property owners. And that company is called RedX. You can go to redxdiscount.com and save $150 and get started today talking to property owners that you choose for literally pennies. It's better than anything else out there that I have seen. And until I find something better, this is all I'm going to talk about. You can literally pick the exact subdivision and property owners that you want to talk to and do business with and have conversations, get their phone number, their email, etc. The features you want to get with RedX is GeoLeads Plus. You want to get Expireds Plus. You want to get their multi-line dialer. And then if you want to hit all of those owners on social media as well, go ahead and add the ad builder to that so you can run social media ads on Facebook and Instagram to the exact owners in your RedX database. This is incredible. This is amazing. I only wish that this product was out when I was a new agent. So if you have any questions about this whatsoever, just reach out to me on Instagram and I'll be glad to help. So again, go to redxdiscount.com, get them to waive that $150 setup fee and get started today. Now, let's get back to the amazing podcast that I know you're enjoying.
And I said, but what's more interesting, these realtors are really nice, but I think I'm just as good to compete. Let's pack up and move. Are you down with that? Because it was moving to a whole new county and basically starting over. And she obviously was like, had all the confidence in the world in me. So we packed up and we moved. I didn't know anybody. So we moved into the new city. So, and then I started all over again. So to answer your question, Ricky, how was I able to dive into a new town, new city, and start all over? I mean this. If you're a great real estate agent and you got an unbeatable listing presentation and marketing skills and you're well rehearsed in your presentation and you're confident, I think confidence is everything, and you're confident in your salesmanship and your skill set, you're going to be great whether you're selling $500,000 homes or $5 million homes. I even wrote in the book, there was a wonderful agent that I started with in the North San Fernando Valley, and she's still the top agent in the North San Fernando Valley. Her name is Stephanie. And man, when I moved, I was glad she didn't come because I'd hate to compete with her day in and day out because she's a great real estate agent, but she's not selling the mega multi-million dollar homes like I am. So again, if you're great, you're going to be great, but you need that skill set, Ricky. You need an unbeatable listing presentation. You need to have that confidence to be able to do it. So I think
So
that
that
the key to success in real estate, Ricky, and longevity is taking advantage of every situation. Every listing opportunity, every conversation with somebody can lead to a listing opportunity if you have the right language and the right skills. Wow, I just looked
yeah,
at
yeah, yeah. And so and when you say that, you know, to have those conversations and to have those skills, are you insinuating you know, that these listing appointments can come from anywhere? Are you insinuating that if someone if you're talking to a prospect that isn't necessarily feeling like it's leading to a deal today, are we still building those relationships for the future?
Well, of course. I mean, that's real estate 101, right? You always want to have your lead box and your inbox of potential leads. But for me, it's every time I talk to somebody, you try to see if they're a real seller, right? But if I don't have a great presentation, I'm not even going to ask for that interview. When I was doing
Okay.
expired listings before I moved, until I felt the utmost confidence in my presentation, I didn't even want to keep pushing for the interview. You know,
Yeah.
are you be interviewing agents for the job of selling your home? I would never ask for a listing. None
Mm.
of the mailers I send out, nothing I do says list with Jordan, nothing like that. It's always asking for the interview. Interview me, interview me. Hey, you know, are you already committed to another real estate agent?
Yeah.
Yeah, we kind of are. Well, interview me. It doesn't hurt to get some second ideas and some second, because I have enough confidence in myself and my listing presentation to be able to win. So I think that's again, I find it interesting when I do meet other realtors and I ask, I go, do you have a great presentation? And they'll usually say to me, well, it's not great. And I always think, you got to make it great. You got to make it great. You got to practice. I did that. I practiced
Yeah.
every day for many, many years.
So I love that, man. Interview me, right? Don't, you know, not, hey, you know, you're interested in selling. Okay, let me come by and take a look, or let me sit down with you, but it's interview me, right?
Every
It's almost like, you know, I understand I don't have the job yet, you know, but interview me
Yep.
and let's see where that goes. I love that.
Yep. Ricky, I always say, I never say to a seller, I say, man, I can't wait to work with you. I don't. I work for you. So I always put my ego aside and I always say, man, I'm looking forward to working for you. Give me an interview. Let me interview for the job of working for you. I think a lot of people still like to be the boss. And let's be real. I always say one of my lines is I say, I'm the CEO of the job of getting your home sold. I'm only
Mm,
going to get paid when I sell it, not when I list it. So I'm the CEO of for the business of getting your property sold. You're the chairman of the board. I say, make no mistake, I work for you, but the process of selling your home, I'm the CEO of that. And let me sit down and show you exactly what I'm going to do from beginning to end to maximize the exposure of your home, to get as many people to become aware of your home, and then my process of vetting buyers, and then obviously showing it and getting them to make the commitment to buy your home. I just want to give just enough in order to sit down in front of somebody, Ricky, and then blast them with my presentation.
yeah,
So
yeah.
if I'm talking too much, stop me. I just had a venti.
No, it's great, dude. Listen, this is gold.
Fire.
Every word you say is gold, man. Don't worry about it. So I want to get into the presentation a little bit. I know you share this a lot about this in your book, right? Which I want to share right here. If you guys go to jordancohen.com/book, you can pre-order the book right here, The Agent's Edge. And if you scroll down here, you'll see this Amazon and these different carriers of the book. And you can pre-order this book. It's on pre-order right this second. You can pre-order the book right now. So, and also, guys, if you watch to the end of this interview, I'm going to give away 5 copies of my book, List to Last: How to Survive Every Real Estate Market Crash. So, I want to give away 5 books in the name, and you know, in the name of Jordan,
Thanks, Ricky.
for 5 of you guys for watching this to the end, because this is straight gold. And the reason why I want you to watch to the end is because I know you're going to pick up so many gold nuggets out of this. So back to the interview, luxury, right? So how far was the how far what how many hour drive was it from where you were to where you ended up getting into all this luxury real estate?
1 hour,
Okay.
solid
So it's just an
hour.
hour away. It wasn't like
This
this.
is LA. You know,
Yeah.
in LA, you could drive from one end to the other end in 4 hours. But honestly, it's about a 1 hour drive, but a whole nother county, a whole nother city, a whole nother town.
Yeah.
But and again, all the realtors I met along the way, they were awesome. But Ricky, I
Mhm.
was armed. I was armed and ready to take my business to the next.
You were focused. You were like, I'm coming in here to dominate and take over, and there's not gonna be a close second place kinda deal."
I hope so. So what I did was I started farming. I'm a farmer. I'm a
Okay.
big graphic farming, like heavy. So what I would do is I took once I made the commitment to come out here, right? And I packed up and I moved. I think in order to really do luxury correctly, Ricky, you kind of got to let go of your other stuff. A luxury seller isn't going to want to see their home advertised next to a mobile home in a different area. Like they want to see they want to be with a luxury agent. So I kind of
Yeah.
knew that just with street smarts, right? So I just kind of said, okay, I'm going to start over. I was still selling some of the other ones, but I wouldn't like cross advertise it. I wouldn't do any print marketing with both of them on the same page or anything like that. That was like
Yeah.
starting over.
Uh,
And then when I came out here, the first piece of mailer that I did, which like really sparked it, which I got some advice. I wrote a personal letter. And what I did was I took real time with this, Rick. It took me a long time. I hand signed each one. I made sure each one was printed out individually. I hired some kid with good writing skills to write each envelope, the people's
okay.
names. I mailed it first class. My goal was to make sure whoever read that, it was literally like it was written for them, and they would have never imagined that that was written or bulk mailed because it wasn't bulk mail. So they
So
thought of
so was the whole thing handwritten? The envelope and the letter
no,
itself, was it all
no. The
handwritten?
envelope was the
Okay.
letter was printed out, but each one individually printed out. So it wasn't like I printed one and then Xerox copied,
Right,
and
right, 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 right.
the best paper I could buy, this expensive linen. And literally, I maxed out my credit card doing certain types of marketing, right? And then I mailed that out, and then I incorporated comps with it, and I did real easy to read comps. Like I didn't write LPSQ; it was listing price per square foot, and I bracketed it up. And
Okay.
then I hand signed each one, and I wrote a whole page. Where literally, my broker at the time said, "No one's going to take their time to read that whole page." And I go, "I only need one to actually read it." And
Yeah.
in my letter, it incorporated some of my listing presentation, a little bit of my marketing, introduced myself, tell them what my goals and aspirations were, and all that. And I actually got 3 interviews from that,
Mhm.
and I won. And because I had a good presentation, man, and I won. And one guy actually said to me, he goes, "How'd you know I was thinking of selling my home?" Like it hit me. Wow, this really worked. I wish I still had that letter to this day because it was 25 years ago, but it kicked in. Then I got my first listing, and then I was fired up. So I did a broker's caravan, and then I met all the. I wore my best suit. I'm not a dress up guy, so I had one suit and I wore it. I made sure there was no dust on the shoulder. The whole day. Like I went and I hired a coffee company and I had finger sandwiches. And then what happened was I started meeting all the realtors, and one lady, Ricky, was a bitch. She literally came up to me and said, "I'll never forget." She goes, "How did you get this listing? Like, are you
Okay.
friends with them?" At the time, I was with a company called Todd C. Olson, which was one office in Northridge. But Todd opened me up my own little private office. I worked by myself for 3 years. No receptionist, no assistant. I couldn't afford that stuff. So I was doing everything myself. And this lady said, "You must be related to them somehow." Really irked me, man. And I go, "No, no,
Mhm.
no." She interviewed people, they interviewed, and I won just like we all do. And then she turned, flipped her hair, and walked away. And Ricky, that lit a fire in my belly.
Yeah.
So I tried to learn as much as I could about my competition because they were
Mhm.
competition to me. So I would literally get their packages. I would talk to people. What are they doing? What are they saying? And then what they were mailing out. And then I upped it. I elevated.
Yeah.
Every piece of mail I did was bigger, better, thicker, better quality. And then I started getting more listings, and it's been a good run ever since. So,
So you looked at what the other agents were doing in luxury and
yep,
as far as their mail outs and
yep,
stuff,
yep,
and then you're like, "I'm gonna create a way better presentation than what they do on just the mail outs," right?
100%. So they were doing just listed
Wow.
postcards. I did brochures. They were because, again, I think if I didn't have the 100% confidence in myself in being able to interview and win, I probably wouldn't have even done it. I wouldn't
Yeah.
have packed up and moved because, I mean, it's risky, right? Everybody thought I was nuts. My parents thought I was nuts. My broker thought I was nuts. At the time, I was doing really well for a young guy. To pack up, kind of leave that behind and start all over again was
Yeah.
risky. But I had confidence in my skill set.
So, did you do anything else like just cold calling or anything like that? Or was it just strictly direct mail? And with the direct mail, was it just one letter or did you do like monthly? Did you pick a subdivision or a few subdivisions and do like monthly mailers? Like what was the entire what did the whole thing look like as far as the direct mail goes? And did you make any cold calls or do anything else outside of the direct mail?
That's a great question because I did totally different stuff in the luxury farming than I did in the first area I farmed, which was an
Mhm.
area called Canoga Park. When I farmed in Canoga Park, I did a lot of door drops, contests, free everybody enter here
Yeah.
for a free turkey on Thanksgiving, you know, and I door knocked a lot. When
Yeah.
I moved into the luxury, I stopped door knocking.
Okay.
And then I door knock a lot. To be honest with you, I hated it, and I
Yeah.
still hate it. I don't want to interrupt anybody when they're in their lunch or dinner. But in the
Yeah.
luxury market, I don't think people want to be interrupted. Really, it's just I don't know. It's just I wouldn't want to be interrupted if I'm having lunch or dinner and be
Yeah.
handed a scratch pad. I'd be nice
Right.
to somebody, but it just when I guess when the day comes that a doctor or a lawyer is out door knocking for business, I think I would have done it at that point. I wanted to try to make it as professional as I possibly can. So um, I elevated my mailing game. And at the time, every listing I took, I did insane open houses where I was there all the time, figured I'd meet the neighbors and just kind of built it like the old fashioned way. A lot of direct mail, a lot of open houses, which I don't do open houses anymore. A lot of that kind of stuff to just generate and get my feet in front of people.
But
And
no cold calls.
I picked what the high end magazines were in the area.
Okay.
I still believe in print, so I
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
a
yeah.
marketer for print. So I would present my listings with all that stuff. Never with my picture, though. I wanted the part of my listing presentation is talking about how I focus on the house, that the house is
Okay.
the star, not me. So I tried to
Wow.
present that in a way, like to create a reputation for myself as somebody that only cares about selling real estate rather than selling
Wow.
myself. So that was
Wow.
kind of like my whole game plan to that.
Wow. I wanna kinda echo what you just said because I don't know if a lot of people actually picked that up. You didn't put your picture on the advertisements for the homes because
Mhm,
you wanted the advertisements to be more about the homes,
mhm.
than you.
I still do that to this day. I know all my competitors do that, so I always try to do something a little different. So
Wow.
yeah, so one of my lines, so to speak, is I'll give you a good one here. So part
Did
of
you
my
come up with this? Is
yeah,
this your idea to not put your picture on the advertisements?
yeah, yeah, for a couple of reasons.
Wow.
One, if I'm at the market or if I'm at breakfast, I really don't want to talk real estate if I was with my kids at the time. But two, in most part, was the whole mindset, the whole creation of first class. I don't put my picture on cards. None of that kind of stuff was to try to present that. Then I came up with language on how to present that in a listing interview. So one of the things that I say,
Okay.
this is good. This is good stuff because this resonates and it's free. I say, Mr. Seller, like an athlete's agent or an actor's agent, the job of the agent is to promote the client. The job of the job of an athlete's agent is to get an athlete off field endorsements. Of course, it's negotiate the contract and all that, but a good athlete wants that Nike money. They want the Pizza Hut money and the Subway money. So a good agent is on the phone. They're promoting their client. They're on the phones trying to hustle their clients endorsement deals. Well, Mr. Seller, I'm a real estate agent. The same scenario. I'm on the phone all day promoting your house. The difference is your house is my star. So just like a movie agent or a sports agent representing an athlete, I'm a real estate agent representing your home. So I'm going to be on the phone all day, every day promoting your home. I would prefer myself to take a back seat and have all the focus on your house. That's what you're hiring me and paying me to do. Sell your house, not me. So when I open up a magazine or anything like that, I like to say, if you notice, my name is on the bottom. Yep, it's got my name, my contact information, but 90%, 95% is of the house. And everything I send out like that is about that. I can even show you. Hey, Christy, can you grab like a magazine, like one of my, like a Homes and Land or like a Westlake Malibu?
Yeah.
Let me see if I could. And also like a just listed postcard, please. Christy's worked with me for 17 years now.
Wow.
Like one of my really good long just listed postcards. That'd be awesome. Thanks. So like, I'll say this, like this is a example of a local publication right here. This is Westlake Malibu publication. So you see like a picture of me. This is actually bigger than normal. Where actually this is a better example. So I'll say this is Homes and Land, right? This is a current version of Homes and Land.
Mm-hmm.
So when I present it, of course I got my name and all this kind of right there and a little bit of content, but I'm saying to them, 95% is of your home. Your home is the star. I want to promote your home, that kind of a thing. Everything I mail out, like this is an example of a just listed postcard.
Mm-hmm.
Notice I talk about my name is there. So people are going to see that it's me, Ricky. Thanks. That's good. Thanks. So they're going to see that it's me, but they're not going to equate me with, you know, a realtor pretending to be on the phone or holding a dog or anything like that. I want to kind of present myself as a real classy.
Yeah.
No offense. Anybody does that. It's just my thing, right? And it gives me something to talk about in an interview that's a little different than my competition.
Did you say that's a postcard you just showed us? Because it looked like a full, like 10-page brochure.
No, that's a whole nother conversation.
I don't even want to see the brochures, bro. If that's a postcard,
this is a just listed postcard for me. So again, I elevate it. Now I'm selling big, expensive homes, so I'm not a discount realtor. So I'm able, I get very well compensated. I'm very grateful to be compensated for the money that so I look at it as an investment. So it opens up like that, and then it closes up like that.
Wow.
And this is a just listed postcard. So the way I look at everything, and I even say it on my presentation, I say, Mr. Seller, I don't spend anything. I invest. Everything I do is an investment to sell your home. Every piece of mailer I send out, every ad in every magazine, everything I do is an investment. I invest in myself. I don't buy stocks and bonds because I can't control the stock market, but I can control my ability to sell your home. So I invest a lot of money, time, and energy to get that done. I'm giving some shit right now, Ricky. I know,
man. That's why I told everybody to stay, because I knew all this stuff was going to be coming out. And I noticed that on your Instagram. You know, I've been following you forever, right? And I noticed that it's just pictures of houses. I never see pictures of you on your post. So I thought that's a cool little, I like now that it's coming full circle, and now I realize what your strategy is. Now I think back and I think, wow, that was actually your thing, was to make it more about the houses than it is about you. It's brilliant.
Well, let's be real, Ricky. I have a face for radio. I don't have a face for TV.
Come on, bro. You're not giving yourself enough credit here.
I've never done a selfie video. I'm 56 years old. You know, I got good hair. I'll give it that. Like, I don't diet or anything like that. I'm very follically blessed, Ricky. My mom's 87, got great hair. So I'm very lucky that way. But I'm not trying to create something I'm not. We sell real estate, Ricky. That's it. Most of us failed something else, went into real, like, you know, listen, we're not school teachers. When I say that, real important things, we don't shape minds. We're not doctors. We're not, you know, scientists. we sell real estate. So I don't ever want to try to think that I'm anything that I'm not, which, I don't want to be anything. I don't want to pretend like I'm something bigger than I'm not.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
sell real estate and I do it well. And I love the job. We all love it, right? Well, I hope we love the income of selling a home, which is
I
great.
mean, yeah, even if it didn't pay you as much, I mean, it's really an incredible job. I mean, it really is. So let's take it back just a second. In today's market, where you have all this, I mean, back then when you started direct mail, like that's how I did. I mean, I started in '02, and there was no social media or anything, and it was phone calls, emails, and postcards for me. Um, what would you tell somebody in today's world though? Would it be the same thing? Direct mail,
Absolutely.
as far as luxury goes, right? In
Same thing.
today's world.
Listen, everything I do. Okay, going to give a couple of my things. I don't mind because I talk about this in my book, so I don't even mind like sharing or anything like that.
And by the way,
So
before you do that, guys, listen, if you're just tuning in, go to jordancohen.com .com/book here, The Agent's Edge, right? Secret strategies to win listings. He goes through his listing presentation in this book, Make Your Fortune Selling Real Estate. And get this, the foreword is by none other than Sylvester Stallone. This is the real deal right here. You can go to jordancohen.com/book and scroll down here, click on the Amazon link. Matter of fact, I'll just do this right now. Who wants to pre-order a book with me right this second? Everybody go to jordancohen.com /book and click on the Amazon link right here. It takes you to Amazon to pre-order the book. Pre-order. Boom. Bam. I'm going to give it some time to let it do the thing so the order is placed. Guys, I can't wait to read this book. Honestly.
I pour it out, Ricky. You know what happened with it? I don't want to sound like a car salesman or anything like that, but I sold a home to an agent, movie agent, awesome guy, amazing guy, like family, like wow. And I sold him a home, then I sold his other home. And he said to me, he goes, "Man, you're really good at this, Jordan. You're so good at this. You got to write a book." And I go, "Man," he goes, "You ever thought about that?" And I go, "I have, but I don't know what to do." Right. And he goes, "Can I connect you with one of our literary agents?" And he was with CAA, right, which is Creative Artists Agency. So I said, "Yeah," I got really excited, man. Again, I just sell real estate, bro, like nothing more.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, I did this Zoom with this literary agent named Anthony, and he signed me. He goes, "Man, we would love to represent you." And I said, "Time out. Are you telling me right now that like I have an agent, like I have CA?" And he goes, "Absolutely." I go, "Fuck, dude, I'm gonna win. I can't wait to tell my wife. I'm gonna have fun tonight. Just her, like this is a win. I don't care if I get a book deal or not. This is a win." But then the competitive juices in me started flowing. And yeah, you write this treatment, like a 25-page treatment of what the book would look like. But I made the commitment, and then he sends it out, and I had multiple offers, and I signed with HarperCollins Leadership. So the book is with HarperCollins. They published me, and they committed to me and signed me to this deal. And once they did, I said, "Man, I'm going to write a great book. It's not going to be a biography. I'm going to write a book on how to sell real estate. I'm going to pour out all my shit, man. My listing presentation. I think there's 7 chapters on that. I'm mixing a few good celebrity stories. I'm very grateful and humble. I've represented some great people, but it's not a celebrity book or a
Yeah.
celebrity tell-all by any means. It's more by doing certain strategies that you can actually land somebody like that, kind of how I landed them in that way. And so that's what kind of started playing out with that. And I wrote a book that I'm so proud of, man. I got to tell you, I think it's going to really help some people. And it was fun to do. It took over a year, and obviously pre-order. So now back to those competitive juices. My goal now is to be a best-selling author. And the only way to get there is by pre-selling books, man. Pre-selling in the first week. So kind of doing that.
Absolutely, man.
But back to the question when you asked me. So everything I send out on like a just sold or just listed, I came up with this phrase, and I don't care if anybody else does it, right? Hopefully nobody in my farm does it because that would look cheesy because I've been sending the same shit out for 20 years. But I literally say, serious about selling, interview Jordan Cohen, you'll be glad you did. So that is my thing on my
Okay.
just interview me. I don't say list with Jordan,
Yeah.
start moving, or any of that corny shit that's been done, start packing if you list with Jordan. None of that stuff for me.
Mhm.
It's just interview me. Give me a
Yeah.
chance. And then I also always want to go first, Ricky. I never want to go last, right? I want to go first. My goal is in every listing presentation to have a seller not only want me, but feel like they need me. And if I give a strong, powerful presentation, I want them to need me to accomplish the goal, which is selling the home for the most amount of money at the end of the
Yeah.
day. And how am I going to get there? So my goal is to win that listing right there so they cancel the other listings. Because that
Yeah.
came about. I was trained by
Cancel
a
the other listing appointments, you mean?
yeah, I want to be
Yeah.
the first that they interview.
Yeah,
See what
yeah.
happened when I started, I went to somebody else's seminar. I haven't been to another seminar in 25 years. That's a whole nother story in itself. But the first like series of seminars I went to, they used to say, always try to go last, try to go last. But then there would be a couple times where I didn't even get in the game, Ricky, because the seller actually hired somebody that they already met with and didn't want to interview anymore.
Yeah.
So and nothing pisses me off more than losing, let alone not even getting an up the bat, not even not even getting on the field. So I try to push to be the first listing interview.
Yeah. No, that's amazing, man. You've shared so much incredible things, so far. So I just wanna before I move on to some celebrity stuff, I just wanna bridge this gap, though, between, like, when we started back in the day, you started way earlier than I did, a decade before I did. But, with very old school, right? In today's world, right? In today's world, what do when you look at, the agents that are doing luxury now and all this stuff, what would you tell an agent in today's market? You know, you came in and did direct mail. You did direct mail open houses, it sounds like. What would you tell an agent in today's market? Any different or the same strategies?
I can only comment on what I do. So I'm not tech savvy, right? You know that because I was struggling to get this thing locked up. I'm big into Instagram. There's no denying that.
Uh,
I get so much business from Instagram. I can't even tell you. Like
yeah,
strategically, that's a whole nother hour on how I built my Instagram and
yeah,
how I use Instagram, how I
okay,
use Instagram for listing presentations, how I use Instagram to get more business. I do it all myself. That's a whole nother game. But for me, it's still about farming. I like to think I'm an expert in farming because I proved that to myself
yeah,
in my marketing areas to have the largest share by a long shot. So I proved that to myself. So it's hard for me to talk about. I've never even been on Zillow. I've never even been on Redfin or any of that. So it's hard for
mhm.
me to say, hey, buy Zillow leads. I don't do any of
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'm sure that's great. If I was a young man and just getting started, I'd probably be tuning into your show every day and all these other people and trying to learn as much as I can about getting more in front of people. But for me, it's still about geographical farm. I don't do open houses anymore, uh, just because I don't think luxury sellers really want them. So I have language it's in my book on how to win, whether you do open houses or whether you don't do open houses.
mhm.
Just for me, I'd rather not sit there on a Sunday for 4 hours, you know,
Oh,
getting home.
yeah, absolutely. Do you talk about Instagram in the book?
Yep.
Okay.
Great question. So there's a great chapter, Ricky. So what I did for there, I broke down the whole book. I went to the bullpen and I actually brought in Matt Leonetti and Broke Agent Eric
Yeah,
Simon, and
yeah,
they actually helped me write. So that chapter
yeah,
on how to dominate social media is the only chapter where I have somebody else helping me. So we
yeah.
actually together, the three of us, wrote that chapter on social media.
That's
So it's
great.
yeah,
That's
it's great.
great.
Yeah,
Wow. I mean,
it
that
was
brings even more value into the book.
yep. Those guys are great, and they know more about it than me. But for me, I talk more about how to present Instagram as a marketing tool
Uh-huh.
in a listing presentation. I have language that I came up with on how to, even though if two realtors say we're going to put your home on Instagram, I like to think I have some really good language on explaining to a seller
Yeah.
why that works
Yeah.
that I came up with. So
Not just, we're gonna use Instagram, but more so the nuts and bolts behind, the strategy.
yeah, 100%.
So when you say farming, before I move on, right, you're specifically only talking about direct mail. You're not cold calling, you're not door knocking, you're not, network, you're not doing any of this stuff. You're talking about direct mail. Just want to make that clear.
100%.
Yeah.
Very unique pieces. My goal in every piece that I send out is I don't want let's say there's a spouse to just throw it in the trash. I want them to open it, look at it, see who sent it out, and then show it to their spouse or their kids. By the way, I sell a lot of homes from that. I like to say the job of a realtor is to cast a very wide net. How are we going to cast the net? We're going to cast a wide net through social media, through internet. We're going to cast a wide net through print marketing. We're going to cast a wide net. But sometimes you get your buyer by just dropping the line in the water. And the way that I drop that line in the water is not mailing a postcard, but mailing out a brochure that's going to highlight the best features of your home in an easy to read fashion with direct bullet points and epic photos shot at dusk versus day to get attention.
Yeah.
And because you never know, somebody in our neighborhood or in your neighborhood has always said, I wish a single story would come about, but they're not looking on Zillow all day, every day. So sometimes as a real estate agent, we need to bring your home to people. So I'm going to bring your home to people in a lot of different channels. And one of them is an epic direct mailing campaign that I send out to past clients, sports agents, business managers, accounting firms that control other people, just basically get as many people as possible to become aware of your home. It's part of my listing presentation.
How many people, before we move on, again, this is so interesting and I want everybody to understand, how many pieces of mail do you send out and how often?
I don't have a set schedule. Every listing I gets it just
Okay.
listed.
Okay.
The really specials just sold, get it just sold. That's not as expensive as it just listed. That's a one card with one
Yeah.
photo of the house. I'm not trying to
Right.
pimp the house anymore.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get them to,
Realize you sold something.
Yep. Well, here's a good thing to mail out that's a little different. I came up with this. I like to think I came up with this like 25, 30 years ago, were testimonials. So the way I
Okay.
looked at it is Nike pays Anthony Davis lots of money to wear Nikes, right? They pay Kobe Bryant, lots of money to wear Nikes. I came up many years ago, if I sold a home for a record breaking or whatever, if I could come up with a cool testimonial like that says something like, we interviewed 3 different realtors. We chose Jordan because his marketing was exceptional. We loved everything about him. He exceeded our expectations. We highly recommend Jordan for any of our neighbors or friends, something like that. I'm hoping that somebody could read that and go, I know the Johnsons. Wow, Jordan's, wow, look at what the Johnsons are saying about Jordan. And then they remember that. And when they're ready to sell, they call me. So I like to tap on a bunch of testimonials whenever I can.
So you don't have a set like schedule with it. It's just when you get a new listing. So when you get well, then that it just brings more questions in. So you've got,
Unique pieces. Hey, Christy, can you grab me that Instagram mailer? I think one's in Madison. Like I tried to send out some unique pieces too. This one's really bitching. I'm gonna show you right now. This one's pretty cool. Yeah. Thank you so much, Christy. So I was the number 3 agent on social media from Property Spark.
Okay.
I got tagged on Instagram. I go, man, that's a cool thing for me to come up with something different. So I mailed this. So I came up with this. I designed this.
Yeah.
Again, no picture of me, except there's a picture because they put it. And I wrote like a nice thing about social media and how important it is, and that I was number 3 in the 100 thing. and then again, drop my line, serious about selling. I got to assume no one's gotten something like that in the mail before, and they may look at it and go, "Wow, that's kind of big."
Yeah,
I
I
kind of
would.
bought. Yeah, this was my one that just talked about my production from last year. So I did this, and I mailed this out. I won number one again. I put a bunch of photos of the homes I sold, and then again ending it with my deal there. So I just
That
tried
that
to.
that's a hell of a tagline, man. Number one Remax agent worldwide.
Yeah, I like that. I'm very proud of that. Ricky, part of my listing presentation is I always say, Mr. Seller, are you aware of the fact that we're independent contractors, which basically means we can work anywhere we want to. When you're a successful real estate agent and you're a productive real estate agent, we get recruited. We get amazing offers to go work wherever we want. Let me tell you why I chose Remax. And then I go into the benefits very slightly. I'll even say, don't hire me because of that. Because let's be honest, Mr. Max isn't going to be showing your home. If I was with Cole Banker, Mr. Banker isn't the one that's going to be promoting your home, showing your home, overcoming objections, and solving problems. So hire the real estate agent. I came up with that language 32 years ago when I worked for a small independent
Yeah.
broker. And I figured I better come up with something to make people aware that we are independent contractors. And I wanted them to know why I chose at the time Todd C. Olson. So that's one of my languages there.
Yeah. So again, I'm still digging here. That Instagram, let's just take that for example, that mailer, okay? How many did you send out? Do you know? Is it is it is
About
it
1,500, I think,
how
1,500.
many?
1,500.
Okay, 1,500. Okay. 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 And then that 1,500, does that include like your farming areas and then like, pro athletes and the people that handle people's money
Past
like
clients. Yeah.
so it's just kind of like so it's kind of a mix of like this is my farming area, like say 800 homes, and then I got about 800 past clients. Is that something like that, generally speaking? Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it,
Mainly
man.
farm. I think about 1,000 would be in my area of North Ranch, Lake Sherwood. And then from time to time, I mail into an area called Hidden Hills and,
Got you.
and a couple communities of Calabasas.
Okay. Cool. So let's switch into how did you moving there, doing direct mail, getting high-end luxury listings, which by the way, when you went there to get these listings you sold that 1.55 and then you moved there. Like once you got in there and started getting the listings, how long did it take you to get a listing? And from that point, like what were the prices of houses during that time? Like what were you getting? Were they 2 million, 1.5, 3?
No, at that time, listen, $1 million was big, right? So it was still like 600,000, maybe up to about $3 million. Remember, this was
Okay.
25 years ago.
Yeah.
Those $3 million homes are now $10 million. So
Are
it's a
you
big.
selling the same homes in the same subdivisions?
Yeah, that's fun. It's
Yeah.
it's fun to walk into a home that I said, "Wow, man, this was 20 years ago."
Yeah.
Cool, because I have really shitty, you know, I forget the initials, CDM or CRM.
CRM.
CRM. I'm terrible. I don't have any of that stuff. So
I don't have a CRM.
I'm terrible at following up like that. So
Yeah.
I just hope that I do well enough that they call me down the road. But I
Mhm.
don't. And if they live in my farm, they're going to get my mail. But I don't have any of the birthday cards or anything like that.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
terrible.
Me neither. Me neither. Like when their dog's birthday is and stuff. What's the biggest deal that you ever did?
35 million.
35 million.
Yeah,
Was it a full 3%er or was it a
two
did you
percent,
get 1, 2?
2 and 2 on that one. Yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah.
So, okay, you go there, right? You're doing your mailers, you're busting into the luxury. Um, how did that transition into you representing some of the biggest celebrities and professional athletes in the world?
Well, I got my first athlete, and then I asked him to introduce me to his agent at the time, who was a big agent.
And
And
this
then
was an LA Laker or
no, he played for the 76ers. He had
okay,
just not.
76ers? Yeah.
And then his agent, I started working real hard to establish a relationship. And then he actually gave me a player that was on the rookie contract, NBA player, and I did a really good job for him and sold him a home that there was no commissions. It was a brand new home in Port
Okay.
Orlando. And at that time, they weren't paying cooperating brokers. But I
Wow.
knew that was I knew at the time that was the right house for him and his wife. So I
Mm.
took them there. I did the entire deal, and then and he was with the Pacers at the time, Sacramento or the Pacers, and then uh, and then when we were sitting, I went with them to sign his loan documents and the contracts and everything. And he was a UCLA kid, the point guard. He was awesome. So I loved hanging out with him because I'm a UCLA fan. So then the salesperson said, "By the way, are you from? Your realtor's not getting paid anything," and he had no idea.
But you knew though
I,
beforehand, right? Yeah,
of
you
course,
knew.
he said,
Yeah.
"You're not getting paid." And then I think he put two and two together that
Ah,
I didn't
yeah.
even show him that area. Like in
Uh-huh.
those days, there was no internet, Ricky. There was no realtor.com. So buyers looked at what we showed them only. We weren't even allowed to give the MLS book to buyers at that time.
Mm.
So in those days, a buyer was dependent on a real estate agent to show them homes because they had no access to seeing them otherwise, unless it was an open house or drove around and saw signs. So when he found out that I went through all that to sell him a house, he told the agent like what an amazing thing I did, and then that led that agent to lead to a bunch of epic deals for me, like
Wow.
a dozen of them or so, and then you start getting them from player to player and establishing other relationships. But it all started from two of my best friends named Dana and David Pump, who are very
Mm.
powerful in the basketball community. That's how I got my first guy, and we
Okay.
grew up together. So you need that. I was very
Yeah.
lucky to get that one, introduction. So the Pump
Yeah.
brothers are still two of my best buddies, and they hooked me up, man, because that changed my.
Wow, man. I bet they look back and say, dang, man, number one Remax agent in the world. We introduced you to your first, pro athlete. They're probably thinking, man. So, okay. And then, well, we could sit here and talk all day about this, but, like, what was it like to represent Sylvester? I want to hear this story, bro. I got
That's
to
my
hear this.
Well, that was my no one bigger to me. Rocky's my favorite
No,
movie of all time. It was
it's it. This is the
1976.
top.
Yeah, it's when I got a call from his business manager, and I got a call, and I kind of was expecting it to do a summer rental, and then I got the call and said, "I'm going to connect you with Sylvester Stallone." Stand by. I was coming off the 405 at Van Nuys. I remember pulling over off the freeway, and when I got on the phone, man, Ricky, I just went numb.
Oh my gosh, man.
Voice, and I just like, whoa. And then, well, it's funny. The first time, like in the video that he's as on my Instagram, you could see that he did a video with me. So we were
Yeah.
prepared to show him the first time I was going to meet him. Uh, I like to say I don't get starstruck, but I have before. There's been a few times, and that was a whole nother level. Like I went
Oh,
to
I couldn't even imagine.
Yeah, I was on my way to meet him. I went to stop at Starbucks, and on my way to Starbucks, I was so sick that I started dry heaving and throwing up on the side of the freeway and getting dizzy. I had a full blown panic attack. I literally put my tail between my legs and went home. And I called his wife Jennifer. I said, "Oh, I'm sick." I came up with some bullshit, and
You
then
canceled the meeting?
I canceled the meeting. Well, no, he went, and then I had the listing agent do a courtesy showing, but I couldn't meet him. I was so overwhelmed with nerves that I was going to meet my childhood hero, my
Yeah.
hero, my
Yeah.
number one man, Rambo, Rocky.
Yes.
No one,
Yes.
highest point
Yes.
of the pyramid for that is him. Everybody else is below. So yeah, I was pretty blown away. Obviously, I overcame that because now we're friends and we do real estate deals. And he wrote the forward to my book, which was
Yeah,
amazing.
that's gotta be, yeah, just mind-blowing, just yeah.
Uh, brought tears to my eyes. What he wrote was just unbelievable.
I
So
watched the video of you 2 on Instagram, how he, everything he was saying
what
about
he wrote
you.
is even better. What he wrote is even better. So I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
like, wow, man.
I'm
Like,
looking forward to reading that.
yeah,
Okay, so you basically chickened out on the first time you were gonna meet him, and then he still wanted to do business with you?
yep. And then we've done.
So you finally did so tell me, when you went and meet him the first time, like, how did it go the first like,
Coolest
when you
dude in the
finally
world.
went through it?
Right? He's even cooler than you would think. He's so down to earth and normal, and his wife and his daughters are just amazing. The most normal family, like awesome people you could ever meet, and hilarious. all of them. Like every time I'm with him, I laugh so hard, like you literally get stomach aches. It's so fun. He's such a funny dude, man.
Yeah.
Obviously, so talented, and yeah, so he's tough to top that.
Man, that's incredible, man. Thank you for sharing that with us today.
Yeah. How many people do we have on this thing? I can't. I don't see it
So
on.
we're at 314 watching live right this second, and we probably had, I would say, about 1,500 come and go throughout the show. We'll get about 5,000 views by the end of the week or so. So we got a big audience here, guys. Thank you for
Well, thank
tuning
you.
in.
I
Yeah,
thank everybody for tuning in. It's a lot of fun. So
I put a
bye.
link in the bio for Jordan's book here, and you can go to jordancohen.com/book to pre-order it. Okay, but the Jordan goes through all of his strategies. It's literally called the Agent's Edge: Secret Strategies to Win Listings and Make a Fortune Selling Real Estate. By the way, the #1 Remax agent in the entire globe. You can go right here and pre-order it. I just pre-ordered mine live. You guys are just tuning in. So do us a favor, guys, and go pre-order this book. It would mean a lot to Jordan. It would mean a lot to me. And I think not only that, but you're going to get so much value out of that, just like you did this interview. So,
But very,
bro,
very humbled and grateful for anybody that would want to even read what I have to say. But I'm very proud of it. I pour it all out there, man. It's a good book. I'm excited about it.
well, I think that this is probably the first encounter of people that follow me, of you. And not knowing anything about you except for maybe people know of you and that you're the #1 Remax agent in the world and stuff like that. But I believe that now they've gotten to know you as a person a little bit, and how humble and hardworking and gracious you are. And
Thank
I know you've got a lot more fans now, because of it. And I appreciate you coming on and sharing some time with us, man.
you.
It's an honor.
From the bottom of my heart, man. Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
Just thanks for having me, man. I'm very grateful. This is new to me doing this kind of stuff, so it's I get very nervous. Before you knew I was nervous,
Yeah.
but it went so smooth. Can't believe it's already been an hour. So
It goes by quick.
thank you. I
Yeah,
love it.
absolutely. Guys, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys on the next show. Jordan, hang out for a second after I go off air, and we'll see you guys soon. The podcast you just listened to with Jordan Cohen was one of my favorite shows that I've ever done. And he dropped so many gems, so I hope you enjoyed it. I did want to share with you how you can win a free copy of my book signed by me. I will mail it to you. All you have to do is text me. Text me the word book at 251-312-8844. That's 251-312-8844. Put your information in and I will pick some winners. And if you're looking for my next video, I'm going to put it right here so you can continue watching, continue learning, continue crushing, continue selling, continue building. And I'll see you on the next video.